Hello and welcome to Autocar Professional. This is Prerna Liddu and I'm delighted to be sitting with Mr. Balaje Rajan, who's the Chief Strategy Officer at Tata Motors. And I'm thrilled to be sitting at the launch of Open Collaboration 2.0, which is Tata Motors' answer to the challenges pertaining to EV charging infrastructure in India, and which we all can agree that it was a huge roadblock for people to sort of get into the EV adoption phase. Let's start with that. Talk about the journey so far and how, with different collaborations with Tata Powers, and how Tata Motors has been able to cater to this problem and the customer that sort of wanted to go into the early adoption EV curve. If you just start with that, and then we'll get into the details about the program.
Thank you for that. So when we started our journey in 2019, there was really no charging ecosystem in India. In fact, there was no ecosystem for EVs at all, whether it's supply chain, sales and service network, or charging. As pioneers who intended to incubate this category called EVs in India, we worked as a group under the Tata Universe framework, along with Tata Group companies, to incubate every element of the EV ecosystem in India. This includes, of course, the supply chain, it includes software, it includes batteries, but it also, most importantly, includes charging infrastructure. Because in 2019, there was no clarity on how cars could even be charged in India, whether it's home charging, public charging, what's the right format. In this sort of scenario, we partnered with Tata Power, and along with Tata Power, we created home charging solutions for every customer. We ensured that we also created an initial public charging network at Tata Motors dealers, as well as key Tata Group locations. And along with these actions, we were able to create the initial about 5,000 odd chargers in India, public chargers in India, and possibly about 60, 70,000 home chargers as well, which created an initial park of about 75,000 EVs. Wow. And this was really the initial wave of EV adoption in India.
And these were obviously helped the early adopters get through that charge anxiety initially.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the fact that we were giving a free home charging solution that could be installed in people's homes, or a community charger at the various premises, large apartment communities that people stay in, or in office campuses, that really made a big difference for the early adopters, because if you have an electric car, the first thing you would want to figure out is where to charge it.
Yeah. So talk about Open Collaboration 2.0. What is the kind of problems that it's trying to solve? I know interoperability was one, fast charging, waiting times, that was like a huge bottleneck for initial adopters and the early majority phase as we start getting into that. So how is Open Collaboration 2.0 addressing all of these issues?
Sure. I think I should probably take a step back and talk about Open Collaboration 1.0 as well. In the initial phase, we seeded the ecosystem through the Tata Group companies. The next phase was Open Collaboration 1.0, which we kickstarted in 2023, where we brought the multivarious players who had entered the charging game together. This included oil marketing companies, this included charge point operators, also builders and government regulators, a number of entities who were interested in charging. We brought them all together. We brought customers as well, and we spoke about what the pain points were. And at the time, the pain points were that customers were not able to travel outside of cities because there was very limited charging infrastructure on highways. Yeah. So and at the same time, charge point operators could not invest in many of these locations because they weren't sure if people would come. So using 1 billion kilometers of EV user data, we were actually able to pinpoint the locations where EV chargers can be installed, public fast chargers can be installed, and through that, we brought 8 key CPOs together, and we gave all this information to them and helped them grow the charging network. And today, the network has grown to about 18,000 public chargers as a result, from 5,500 when we started.
This was 2019, right?
This we started in 2023. So just in a matter of about a year and a half or so. Now, the key thing is, while this was Open Collaboration 1.0, it resulted in fixing the key gaps on India's highways for charging. However, there are a whole new set of issues that customers, the newer set of customers have identified. As EV adoption keeps going up, we keep finding newer and newer cohorts of customers who come in, and every cohort of customer is even more demanding. And this is the mainstream customer, and the mainstream customer still has certain issues with respect to charging. One is with respect to the quality of charging. While there are a number of chargers, they are not able to convince themselves that every charger is going to work when they get there. Second is the speed of charging, especially as EVs with much higher capacity are coming into the market. And similarly, there is interoperability, because there are multiple different charging networks, and they would need to carry so many different apps and so many different wallets with them to be able to operate them.
Yeah, again, that's a huge pain point that you're trying to solve.
Thank you. And this is exactly why we came up with Open Collaboration 2.0, because now the need is not just to have charging, but to have high speed, high quality charging, which is easily and seamlessly operated by every EV user. So hence Open Collaboration 2.0, and we have collaborated with highly reputed and leading CPOs to make this happen.
And is it fair to assume that while Collaboration 1.0 was more about developing highway and intra-city travel, this will be more focused on clusters within the cities and like you said, malls and parking spaces? What will be the focus like?
So the focus of Open Collaboration 2.0 would be to grow the overall charging infrastructure. But as a part of Open Collaboration 2.0, there is a very specific initiative called the Tata Mega Chargers.
Yeah.
The Tata.EV Mega Chargers will be primarily focused on key EV micro markets as well as some select highways. And the focus here would be to have high speed, high quality charging infrastructure that all EV owners can enjoy. And we are hoping that that will trigger the next wave of EV adoption.
Can you also throw some light on the current pain points for the you targeting mainstream customers now? What do you think from your data and your analysis could be there's still some smaller pain points that these audiences, newer audiences, would struggle with?
So I think the number one aspect that the newer cohorts, of EV intenders struggle with is just the visibility and awareness of where charging is. Yeah. And we have an app with a charging aggregator, which makes this easy. But still, people also want to physically be assured that the chargers are there in and around them. So in my mind, one of the key barriers today is the visibility of chargers. In the key cities and on highways. When you drive across, you don't see big boards that advertise chargers. The other aspect, we've spoken about interoperability, we've spoken about seamlessness of transactions. That's another important one. The third one, I would say, is the newer cohorts also struggle with certain issues that may fall between an OEM and a CPO. There is no single source that they can go to and figure out why their car is not charging, or for that matter, even plan a trip over a longer duration. And for these factors, we have actually created two solutions. One is a call center. It's a unified call center staffed with people who understand both EVs and charging, and who are at the back end connected to the various CPOs, who will get in and solve your charging queries and answer questions around trip planning and perhaps troubleshoot as well in case you're facing any challenges. The second one is when it comes to the reliability of charging and when it comes to the quality of charging, we have an initiative called Tata.EV Verified Chargers, where we have done an audit of the most popular chargers across India, and we've rated them on a 5-star scale. And any charger that receives 4-star and above is called a EV Verified Charger. We've verified it for location, amenities, compatibility, reliability, etc. And we're also taking user feedback or user ratings as they use these chargers. So with these, we're able to provide confidence that A, there is charging, B, if there are queries with respect to charging, that someone will be there to answer it, and C, if you are at a charging point, you can be assured that it will work because it comes with a star rating.
Got it. I love the word EV intenders, because that's going to be your next set of audiences, and I'm probably will ease into the transition once the charging network is wider and they could see that they have more visibility. Talk a bit about fast chargers, because that again is a pain point. It's very difficult for a customer today, and we've seen complaints online. It's a social media forward world. How waiting for 30-40 minutes for a charge time, location, all of that are still challenges from a customer point of view. How and you again have an aim to double your charge point operators by 2027. How much of that will fast charging entail, and what is the strategy to develop that? If you could just paint a picture on that.
Sure. I think when it comes to fast charging, we will have two different initiatives that will drive that. One is our flagship Tata.EV mega chargers. These will be super fast chargers, 120 kilowatt capacity, at least 4 bays, so that there could be parallel charging when there are multiple cars. They will be located, as I said, in key cities as well as on key highways. This should bring a lot of comfort, and it should also address many of the pain points that you mentioned around fast charging, particularly when there are larger cars with bigger batteries and higher charging speed compatibility. So that's one initiative. The second is, as a part of our open collaboration itself, we still continue to share specific location insights, and we have a very rich database through which we're sharing with 8 CPOs the key locations for installing these fast chargers. We also have an open conversation with them where we talk about the kind of charging speeds and the battery capacities of vehicles that are being launched in the market, to make them aware of what is coming down the pipeline, so that they will also plan accordingly. The fact is that the CPOs are obviously significantly interested in ensuring that their chargers meet the expectations of EV owners, and we have a very close connect with EV owners. So we are bridging all three stakeholders together by giving specific inputs that will help in creating as well as improving this ecosystem of fast chargers.
Got it. Right now, we see there's a trend that premium EV buyers, because of the comfort of maybe home charging and office charging, like ease of charging, the customers are moving towards the premium side of the pyramid. But will this sort of help get to the mass market as well? Is there a number that you can share in terms of penetration that you will see after the program is launched in its full swing?
I think there is a very clear correlation between the presence of EV charging and EV adoption. That said, I don't think, given the dynamic nature of the market, I don't think we can actually specify a specific number for what kind of EV penetration could likely result from this collaboration. However, what I can say is that actions such as the Tata.EV mega chargers will create adequate capacity of charging within cities, where the vehicles, with multiple bays, even some folks who currently might not be considering EVs because they may not have parking at home,
The
could also,
intenders, like you like to call.
yeah, absolutely, the intenders could potentially start considering EVs because they know that there is a hub nearby and they could go ahead and use it. I think this is a very important cohort that can get unlocked, and similarly the other cohort of individuals who are not even EV intenders today because they believe that charging doesn't exist. When they see this, we believe that they will also get unlocked. And these are the larger cohorts in the broader passenger vehicle market. So we are hoping that with these initiatives, we'll unlock the larger cohort within the PV market and significantly improve EV penetration.
Very interesting. If you could leave us with an outlook for the future. We've seen in markets like Europe and US, the pace of adoption has slowed. That has had a trickle-down effect in our industry as well. How do you see the adoption curve forming from here on, since you're the market leader? Does it worry you? There are certain concerns that you're trying to address with the Open Collaboration 2.0 as well. But overall, at an industry level, how do you see the pace of growth for EV penetration in India today?
I think, with a wide set of product launches across price points and across product segments, um, both what has already been launched and what is planned to be launched in the next 12 months or so, India is set for significant EV growth. Uh, the other aspect is the growth of charging infrastructure, which we have outlined. So this also has a very strong opportunity to drive the EV market beyond the products. Third, I think uh, there are a number of regulatory reasons why OEMs also need to push EVs. So, given these reasons, I think in the medium term, even in the next 3 years, India will see a very, very strong growth in EVs. And I think we will probably see a significant increase, possibly even doubling of the EV park within the next 3 to 4 years.
For you, or you're talking about the industry?
The industry.
You're practically the industry.
The
Okay.
industry.
Got it. Thank you so much for your time and sharing insights on this very important issue. And all the best. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you.